The battle between British farmers and their own government is far from over, and it just escalated again. What started as a tax dispute has grown into one of the most sustained political uprisings Britain has seen in decades. And just 5 days ago, tractors were once again rolling through the streets of London. This is the real story, fully up to date. It began in November 2024, when thousands of farmers descended on Westminster in a powerful show of force. Convoys of tractors blocked major roads around Parliament, disrupting the heart of the capital.
Farmers from across the country, from Yorkshire, from Somerset, working with the Met Police to bring about 500 tractors outside Downing Street.
The message was simple and direct. The government had crossed a line that rural Britain was not willing to accept. The trigger? A new 20% inheritance tax on farm estates valued over £1 million. For generations, family farms were passed down completely tax-free, protecting the continuity of independent British farming. With one policy announcement, that protection was gone. The Prime Minister argued the change was necessary to address a reported £22 billion deficit in the national budget. But farmers fired back immediately. A family farm worth over £1 million on paper, due to land values alone, does not generate the profit needed to absorb a tax bill of that size. For many farming families, it meant one thing: sell the land or go bankrupt. The protests worked partially. By December 2025, under sustained public pressure, the government blinked. They raised the threshold from £1 million to £2.5 million, offering some relief to smaller operations. But for many farmers, it was not enough. Larger family farms still faced devastating bills. The anger did not disappear, it intensified. And then, just 5 days ago, March 3, 2026, the tractors came back. Farmers once again rolled into central London, this time ahead of Chancellor Rachel Reeves' spring statement. The message from the farming community was clear: a partial concession is not a solution. Farmers warned that the policy, even in its adjusted form, could devastate UK farms and seriously worsen domestic food security. This is not a protest movement running out of steam. This is a movement that is growing in confidence and organization. The frustration goes beyond the inheritance tax. Farmers point to a government that appears to have misplaced priorities. Significant public funds, reportedly hundreds of millions annually, are being spent housing asylum seekers in hotels and temporary accommodation. The exact figures are debated, but the general scale of that spending is a documented and ongoing political controversy. Meanwhile, Britain's prison system is operating at near full capacity. The government implemented an early release scheme, freeing some prisoners after serving around 40% of their sentences to ease overcrowding. For rural communities already concerned about public safety, this felt like yet another example of priorities going in the wrong direction. Farmers are also raising a legitimate long-term concern. If independent family farms are pushed into financial difficulty, the land does not simply disappear, it gets absorbed by large agricultural corporations. That would fundamentally reshape the British countryside and reduce the nation's food independence. Now the fight is moving into the courts. A High Court judicial review is scheduled for March 17th and 18th, just days away, which could delay or potentially overturn the inheritance tax policy entirely. This is a significant legal challenge that could change everything. The farming community is watching closely. The government insists it has been engaging with farmers and remains open to dialogue. But protest organizers say farmers on the ground have had little to no direct contact with officials. That disconnect is precisely what keeps the tractors moving. This is no longer just about a tax policy. It is about whether a government listens to the people who feed the nation or continues to ask them to carry a burden they did not create. The legal battle begins in 10 days. The pressure on Westminster is not easing. It is only getting stronger. Stay tuned for the next update.